So I saw Surrogates. I wasn't particularly looking forward to this movie. The trailer was and it looked like a mix between iRobot and CSI because Bruce Willis' crime-solving team, along with that girl whose name I'm forgetting, kind of looked like something straight out of CSI, with all the twists and turns very expected. Aside from this being one of the weirdest movies I've seen all year, which is not a bad thing, it had some things I liked and some things I absolutely hated. In parts it was just horrific, and I don't know how anybody could write something like that. Other parts it was quite enjoyable, but yeah, I felt like that in my seat where I was watching it and I didn't care, where I was watching it and I was actually intrigued but not really involved with the story or the characters, because the characters, you don't really care for any of them because they're all robots. Like, you don't really care for Bruce Willis or what he's fighting for because you don't care for any of these particular points they bring up throughout the movie, and there are many of them. One of the biggest flaws this movie had was it losing its direction, because at times it was a conspiracy movie, at other times it was like a revolution movie where they were going to try to change it back for humanitarian purposes and get the robots out of the way and humans take back over the earth and stuff with this prophet guy, and I thought that part was a lot more interesting than the conspiracy, because they ruined that conspiracy thing just by having so many twists that were so objectively obvious. And then this other part that I thought if they really dwelled into it could have worked a lot better, but they just throw that out. They go through it once in like a little cycle and they never actually finish that part off. Everything that Bruce Willis says and does you can kind of expect. You don't care when there's a twist. You're not like, oh, because there are like 10 moments in this movie where you're supposed to go, oh, but you don't. There is a big final conclusion that I thought was pretty cool, but really bad at the same time. Like kind of a so bad it's kind of cool. With I don't want to give anything away, but it involves bodies dropping, and I just thought it was, well, it's cool, but at the same time, me and almost all my friends were laughing. This is like the second movie out of the year that I've actually laughed at parts being so stupid. Actually, that and G.I. Joe, but this movie was not G.I. Joe bad. It was just, I found myself laughing at some parts were just so stupid and carried away. Not fun action, but just stupid action. Other than the bad things I can say about this movie, there were some good points. I did have fun at other points, and I just really thought that there were some very intriguing and interesting moments, but were ruined by these bad, poorly written moments that I think if they worked out in the script a little longer, it could have been a much better film. So I'm going to give this movie a 5.5 out of 10. Not something you should completely avoid seeing, but something that I wouldn't go out to see and pay money for. Oh yeah, and the CGI just looks like crap. Absolute crap at times. I mean, even real people, like the people that are supposed to be real, like real actors, just look fake. And Bruce Willis looks fake half the time. When the surrogates don't have like their faces on, they look so fake. All the robots, it was just so, it was so dumb in some parts. I was like, they could at least have tried with just this terrible, but I guess they really had a bad budget. One last thing, they kind of, they make Bruce Willis look really, really old. I don't know if it's supposed to be in contrast to a surrogate or not, but he just looks old. Seriously, like his non-surrogate, his real person, like they make him look really old. All the posters are like, why does he look so old? And I don't know, like, I guess because they think he was John McClane in Die Hard, and I guess even Butch from Pulp Fiction, that he can just be badass wherever he wants, even if he looks like he's Santa Claus's bald brother. But come on, what's going to happen if there's a Die Hard sequel? It's probably going to look something like this. Hey, it's John McClane here. Oh no, alien robots from space.